Welcome friends. Let us go for the hydrogen. Hydrogen is the first element of the periodic table. It is the lightest element in the entire elements present in the periodic table, and it is having the only two fundamental particles, that is one is electron and second one is proton. Without having neutron, the existing element present in the periodic table is hydrogen, and it is discovered by Henry Cavendish, and it is always exist in the nature in the form of diatomic molecule, that is H2. Whereas the logical meaning of hydrogen is when this gas is allowed to burn with the oxygen, as a result it generates water. Water is said to be the water generator is this gas, hence the name is hydrogen. Whereas the occurrence related information, it is most abundant in the universe, whereas 50% mass of the stars as well as the sun is due to of hydrogen. On earth it is present in the combined state. The water is the major source of the hydrogen, along with water in coal, petroleum, that is hydrocarbons, clay, animal and the vegetable matter also it is present. Almost all 0.9 percentage of the earth crust is with the hydrogen related compounds. Due to its lesser weight, it is not present as a part of the normal atmosphere, because gravitational pull is not sufficient enough to drag the hydrogen into the atmosphere. Hence, it is not present as a part of the normal atmospheric gases. Anomalous position of hydrogen in periodic table. It has one electron. The electronic configuration is ns1 implies 1s1. In some cases, 1s1 is similar to that of ns1. It is similar to that of alkali metals. In some cases, 1s1 is less by 1 electron to the nearest inert gas configuration, that is helium. Hence, it is also similar to that of that particular group, where the group common electronic configuration is less by 1 electron to the inert gas, that is halogen family. So therefore, having ns1 similar to alkali in certain issues, it is also similar to alkali also. Yes, as alkali, if we consider electropositive character, alkali metals easily loses electrons and can be converted to cations. In the same way, there are certain evidences, certain reactions, certain compounds in chemistry literature, whereas hydrogen also loses electron and it is converted to H+. If you look at the valency also, always alkali metals will form monovalent. In the same way, hydrogen is also monovalent, like sodium chloride here, HCl. Oxidation state, always hydrogen, always the alkali metal shows only one unique oxidation state, that is +1. In the same way here, hydrogen is also having +1 oxidation state related compounds in +1 oxidation state. Combination with more electronegative elements. Alkali metals can combine with the more electronegative elements like halogens, like sodium chloride formation takes place, sodium oxide formation takes place. Here, HCl and water formation takes place. Liberation at anode. Anode implies what? Oxidation takes place. So there are certain compounds in the fused state. On electrolysis, sodium as well as chlorine is going to be liberated, that is fused sodium chloride. Whereas HCl is there, aqueous HCl on electrolysis liberates the same hydrogen at the cathode and chlorine at the anode. These two are liberated at the same electrode. Similarly, reducing property. Alkali metals are good reducing agents. It reduces copper-like substances. Copper oxide is converted to copper followed by sodium oxide. Copper followed by water molecule formation takes place. In this respect, it is similar to that of alkali metals. There are issues where hydrogen is also similar to that of the halogens, like this, having less by 1 electron. Electronic configuration, if you observe, both are having almost all nearer to that of the electronic configuration. If you look at the ionization energies, both are maintaining higher ionization energies. Hydrogen is 1312, whereas chlorine is 1255 kilojoules per mole. Approximately in the same range, they are having the ionization energies and electronegativity. Both can take up the electrons and can be present in the form of their corresponding anions. Oxidation states, yes, both can maintain negative oxidation states. Sodium hydride is there, whereas sodium plus and the hydrogen minus. Similarly, sodium halides are there. In this, sodium is plus, whereas halogen is having minus, and the halogen is having minus. Similarly, hydrogen is also having minus. Similarly, atomicity, both the halogen molecules as well as the hydrogen molecule as present as diatomic molecule, atomicity remains same. Similarly, liberation at the corresponding electrode. That is, these are liberated at the anode by participation in oxidation implies what? By losing electrons. Sodium hydride gives hydrogen at the anode, sodium chloride gives chlorine at the anode. Both are having similarity. Similarly, non-metallic nature, both behaves as non-metals. And the last case of similarity in nature of compounds. Halogen related compounds with the non-metals like carbon and the nitrogen forms carbon tetrachloride and nitrogen trichloride. These are all covalent in nature. In the same way, in chemical combination with the same elements like carbon and the nitrogen, it forms methane followed by ammonia. These are all also covalent in nature. Thus, to certain extent, it is similar to that of alkali metals. In certain aspects, it is similar to that of halogens also. There are cases where hydrogen is different from the alkali metals in properties, and hydrogen is also different from the halogen family in its properties. Let us go for those. It also differs from the alkali as well as the halogen family also. Whereas the differences from the respect to alkali family is in case of ionization energies, whereas alkali metals are having low ionization energies. These are metals, easily loses electrons. Hydrogen maintains higher ionization energy. Character related their properties, whereas hydrogen related properties are non-metallic properties, whereas alkali metals are metals implies metallic properties are there. Atomicity, if you look at, hydrogen is always diatomic gas, but the alkali metals are monoatomic. Whereas the connectivity also, if you look at, covalent bond is present in the hydrogen, metallic bond is present in the alkali metals. Nature of compounds, hydrogen related compounds are covalent, whereas the sodium related, alkali metal related compounds are ionic in nature. Nature of oxides, metal oxides are basic in nature, whereas the oxide of hydrogen, that is water is neutral in nature. In this way, it also differs from the alkali metals. Similarly, it also differs from the halogen family also. Whereas electronegativities, if you look at, electronegativity of halogen family is very high and that of hydrogen is less. Similarly, the connectivity diatomic molecules, whereas in that diatomic molecule, hydrogen is not having any kind of lone pairs. Halogens are associated with many number of lone pairs. And moreover, if you look at the oxides, yes, non-metal oxides, these are all are acidic, whereas this is the oxide of the hydrogen, that is water is neutral. In this way, it is also differs from the halogen family. And there is another aspect, it is also similar to that of the carbon family, otherwise the carbon. Look at the electronic configuration, both are having off-field configurations. Electronegativities are also similar, this is 2.1 and that is 2.5. Thus, we can feel to certain extent it is similar to that of alkali and different from alkali. It is similar to that of halogen and different from the halogen. Similar to that of the carbon and different from the carbon. Thus, there is no proper location for the hydrogen in the periodic table. Its position is so uncertain. Its properties are also so uncertain. Doesn't matches either of any of the group like alkali, halogen, carbon family. Certain extent matches, certain extent mismatches. Thus, due to having of its unique nature and it behaves uniquely in certain other cases. Thus, in spite of these of all things, hydrogen is discussed as a separate part and separate issue, separate lesson in the periodic table. Isotopes of hydrogen. Hydrogen is having three varieties of isotopes. Hydrogen, which is also known as protium, that is H1 and 1, having of 1 electron, 1 proton and 0 neutron, and it is almost all 99.99% abundant in the atmosphere as well as in the earth crust. In nature, we can say. Whereas deuterium, this is represented as 1H2 and symbolically represented as D, stands for 1 electron, 1 proton and the 1 neutron. Its weight is 2 units, whereas its corresponding abundance in nature is 0.015%. Tritium, that is 1H3, represented as T, having of 1 electron, 1 proton and the 2 neutrons, and its corresponding abundance in nature is 7 into 10 power minus 16%. Deuterium is obtained from the heavy water, which is obtained from the fractional distillation of the repeated fractional distillation of the normal water, and that is represented as D2O. That D2O is consisting nothing but what? Heavy hydrogen is present. Tritium is radioactive isotope which is less in abundant in nature. That is nitrogen on reaction with high energy containing neutron. Lithium on reaction with high energy containing neutron leads to the formation of tritium, which is radioactive. These are all three varieties of hydrogens, that is protium, normal hydrogen, deuterium and the tritium, are having same electronic configuration, hence shows similar properties, similar chemical properties, but they are differed at the speed of reaction, that is rate of reaction, and if any equilibrium related things are there, at equilibrium constant also these values are different. Due to this particular differences, due to having of different masses, and this particular effect is said to be the isotopic effect. Thus what we can conclude is isotopes are having similar chemical properties, but the speed of reaction will be different, as well as equilibrium related constants will be different. This is due to difference in masses of the isotopes, and this is said to be the isotopic effect. Different types of hydrogens. Hydrogen is having many varieties of forms. The first form is atomic form. Whatever the molecular hydrogen is there, this on exposure to the high energy electrical arc, it is takes energy and it is dissociates into atomic hydrogens. Such kind of hydrogens are said to be the atomic hydrogens. There is no molecule. Now molecule is broken into atoms. Whereas it is very active, its lifetime is very small, 1/3 of second is its lifetime. Whereas its activity can be known, those reactions which are not normally performed by the normal hydrogen, if I take the help of atomic hydrogen, because it is having highest amount of energy is there, electrical energy is stored in it, electrical related energy is stored in it, hence it is more energy content containing species, more reactive. Thus normally silver oxide is not reduced by the hydrogen. Such kind of silver oxide is also reduced by the atomic hydrogen to silver. And similar to that of normal cases, it can combine with the non-metals like sulfur, sodium, and forms corresponding sodium sulfide and the hydrogen sulfide, etc. This type of hydrogen is said to be the active hydrogen, atomic hydrogen. And second one is nascent hydrogen. Nascent hydrogen is not the atomic hydrogen, it is the molecular hydrogen, but nascent stands for what? Newborn hydrogen. Hydrogen just liberated from the chemical transformation or from the source, hydrogen is now produced and it is liberated. Such type of hydrogen is said to be the nascent hydrogen. It is also reactive. Suppose zinc followed by sulfuric acid at the instant of liberation for 5 minutes gap or within less than 5 minutes gap, that liberated hydrogen is said to be the nascent hydrogen, said to be the nascent hydrogen. This nascent hydrogen is also more reactive compared to the normal hydrogen. Ferric chloride followed by hydrogen, under normal conditions it is not possible, but nascent reduces that one to ferrous chloride. Similarly, KMnO4 on reaction with sulfuric acid with respect to normal hydrogen is not possible, but nascent hydrogen reduces that one to potassium sulfate and the manganese sulfate. Similarly, potassium dichromate, which is normally not possible, can be reduced by nascent hydrogen to corresponding chromium sulfate formation occurs. This is nascent. The next one is active hydrogen. This is a special case. Hydrogen on subjected towards the electrical arc of highest voltage like 30 kilowatts, it is takes up that energy and it is present in the molecular form, but it is having highest content of energy in association with it for a short period of time, and it is more reactive. Such type of hydrogens are said to be the active hydrogens. Whereas by using this electrical arc, what happens is a glow appears in the electrical tube, then after the hydrogen produced it is having such kind of active nature. The next one is heavy hydrogen. From heavy water, if I do electrolysis, whatever the hydrogen produces, that is D and D combination is said to be the heavy hydrogen. The next one is ortho and para hydrogens. This is normal molecular hydrogen. Due to the spinning of the charged species, that is proton present in the nucleus, there are two varieties of molecular hydrogens. Both spins in the same direction is said to be the ortho hydrogen. Both spins are in opposite directions is said to be the para hydrogen. In ortho hydrogen, total nuclear spin will becomes equal to half plus half will becomes equal to 1, whereas in para that nuclear spin will becomes equal to 0. Always they are present in equilibrium. In molecular hydrogen, both ortho and para forms are there. The ortho and para is on behalf of the spinning charged particle present in the nucleus of the hydrogen, that is proton. Whereas here para is generally more stable compared to the ortho. Whereas at low temperatures para dominates and 100% para can be obtained. See the temperature at low temperatures pure para can be obtained. Ranges at low temperature here, low temperature to high temperature, ortho is 0%, para is 100%. On increasing the temperature, ortho percentage increases and maximum the ortho to para ratio maintained is 3:1, 75:25. So maximum you can get 75% of ortho, but you never get the pure ortho. Such kind of ortho and para hydrogens are a part of molecular hydrogen. Whereas adsorbed hydrogen, whereas in hydrogenation process on the metal or on the colloidal metal, hydrogen gas is adsorbed and it is useful for the hydrogenation. That particular metal adsorbed hydrogens are said to be the adsorbed hydrogens. Palladium followed by platinum. Palladium take up the hydrogen, platinum take up the hydrogen, nickel takes up the hydrogen. These are all hydrogens are said to be the adsorbed hydrogens. The other name of this one is occluded hydrogens. Whereas if I take colloidal state of the material, then colloidal state of material is having heavy surface area. It can accommodate more amount of hydrogen compared to the normal state of metal. Almost some 2000 times of excess amount of hydrogen can be absorbed over the colloidal surfaces. Due to this particular reason, colloidal based hydrogen adsorption is used in the automobiles because it is acting as a heavy source of hydrogen, which is a huge amount of fuel. Preparation of hydrogen. Hydrogen can be prepared by many methods. Methods like by action of water on metals, by action of water on ionic hydrides, by action of alkalis on metals, by action of acids on certain metals, by electrolysis, and there are some laboratory methods and the preparations of pure hydrogen like methods are there. The first case, action of water on the metals. Metals on behalf of reactivity are divided into three categories. Those are more reactive, less reactive and very less reactive. Like sodium, potassium, calcium, these are all are very reactive. Whereas less reactive metals, magnesium, aluminium, zinc are less reactive. Very less reactive like ferrous is there, nickel is there, these are very less reactive. Whereas more reactive metals readily combines with water instantaneously at room temperature, produces hydrogen gas. Whereas in this process, that is a redox reaction, that is very vigorous, very speed, uncontrollable, and exothermic reaction, more amount of heat energy is liberated. Often what happens is, even that liberated hydrogen can catch the fire. Hence, for this particular metals, instead of direct metals, amalgamated metals are preferable. If I take amalgamated sodium or amalgamated potassium, then the speed of reaction decreases because amalgam covers the metal. A little portion of metal is available for the water molecule to undergo chemical transformation. Thus, the time required for the mixing of the components is maximum. Hence, slow amount of hydrogen and the slow quantities of heat are going to be liberated for a long time. Hence, it is controllable. Sodium followed by water at room temperature gives sodium hydroxide followed by hydrogen. Sodium is undergoing oxidation from 0 to +1. Hydrogen of +1 is undergoing reduction from +1 to 0. Hence, the overall reaction is a redox reaction. The second case, less reactive metals like magnesium, aluminium, zinc, these are not reactive under room temperature. Heating is required on boiling. Otherwise, by using of boiling water, reaction takes place. Thus, that leads to the formation of hydroxides followed by hydrogen. The next one is less reactive metals like ferrous, nickel. These even boiling water is also not sufficient. High energy quantity, high energy reactant quantities are required. That is steam. On reaction with steam, that leads to the formation of ferric oxide followed by hydrogen. And this particular process, if we use in large quantities production of hydrogen, and this process is known as Lane's process. Thus, ferrous on reaction with steam, nothing but water in vapor state, undergoes redox reaction, leads to the formation of ferric oxide, that is a mixed ferric oxide, that is Fe3O4, followed by hydrogen gas formation occurs, and this process is known as Lane's process. By action of water on the ionic hydrides like sodium hydride, calcium hydride, which is known as hydrolith. The name is given because it is used for the production of hydrogen and sodium borohydride. On reaction with water leads to the formation of sodium hydroxide followed by hydrogen, whereas calcium hydride gives the calcium hydroxide followed by hydrogen. Similarly, sodium borohydride on reaction with water produces sodium metaborate followed by hydrogen. All these processes are examples for the redox reactions. Action of alkalis on metals. Certain metals on reaction with bases, alkalis like beryllium, aluminium, zinc, tin produces corresponding salts followed by the hydrogen. Suppose beryllium on reaction with sodium hydroxide forms sodium berylate, Na2BeO2 followed by hydrogen, which is a redox reaction. Aluminium on reaction with sodium hydroxide forms sodium metaluminate, NaAlO2 followed by hydrogen. Tin on reaction with sodium hydroxide forms sodium stannate, Na2SNO3 followed by hydrogen, whereas zinc on reaction with sodium hydroxide forms sodium zincate, Na2ZnO2 followed by hydrogen. All these reactions are examples for redox reactions. By action of acids on the metals like magnesium, ferrous, zinc on reaction with mineral acids like HCl and dilute sulfuric acid produces hydrogen. Whereas in this case, concentrated sulfuric acid and the nitric acids are not used because these are acting as oxidizing agents. With the liberated hydrogen, they participate in reduction, that is, they are acting as good oxidizing agent. Hence, without using nitric acid and without using concentrated sulfuric acid, by using either dilute or concentrated HCl and the dilute sulfuric acid, make an action over the metals like magnesium, ferrous and zinc and produces the hydrogen gas. See, zinc on reaction with dilute sulfuric acid, zinc sulfide followed by hydrogen. Ferrous on reaction with the dilute HCl leads to the formation of ferric chloride followed by hydrogen, and these of all reactions are examples for the redox reactions. By electrolysis of water, water is a weak electrolyte. It is present in the form of small amounts of H plus and the OH minus. The small amount of acid or the base added as impurity, that particular water undergoes easy electrolysis because it can produce more amount of H plus and the OH minus at equilibrium. Thus, on electrolysis at anode oxidation takes place. Thus, here OH minus after losing electron it is converted to O2. Similarly, at cathode reduction takes place. H plus gains the electron and it is converted as hydrogen gas. In laboratory, hydrogen is prepared by the action of zinc over the dilute sulfuric acid, that leads to the formation of zinc sulfide followed by hydrogen. Whereas instead of dilute sulfuric acid, if concentrated sulfuric acid is used, it is acting as oxidizing agent. It can take up the hydrogen and it is converted to the lower oxidation state like sulfur dioxide. In this process, no hydrogen is liberated. Hence, concentrated sulfuric acid is not used. As reagent for the production of hydrogen from zinc. Preparation of the pure hydrogen. Pure hydrogen preparation can be done within the methods that we had discussed, so-called sodium hydride on reaction with water produces pure hydrogen. Similarly, magnesium on reaction with dilute sulfuric acid produces magnesium sulfate and the hydrogen. And the last one is scrap aluminium on reaction with base like potassium hydroxide, aqueous solution, that leads to the formation of potassium metaluminate and the hydrogen. Whereas this last method is said to be the UNOS method, and this is used for the military purposes. Industrial preparation of hydrogen. Industrially, hydrogen is having a lot of applications, hence industrial preparation is also needed. Industrially, it can be prepared by Lane's method, It can be prepared by Bose method, it can be prepared by electrolysis of water and the hydrocarbon followed by steam process, and as a byproduct for the other important chemical synthesis associated with a byproduct of hydrogen. These are all are the methods commercially and industrially for the preparation of hydrogen. The first process is Bose process. Whereas in the Bose process, coke is allowed to react with the water, that is steam. As a result here, excess amount of coke has to be taken. Thus, that leads to the formation of the limiting reagent of steam, leads to the formation of carbon monoxide and the hydrogen. This combination is 1:1 ratio, and that is said to be the syn gas, synthetic gas, otherwise the water gas, because it is having many applications. This syn gas, whichever the water gas obtained, is allowed to react with the double to the volume of the steam once again in the presence of catalyst like ferric oxide and the chromium oxide Cr2O3 at high temperature like 500 degrees centigrade. Thus, in this process what happens is, whatever water is there, the water's oxygen combines with the carbon monoxide, and that leads to the formation of carbon dioxide. So therefore here oxidation occurs for the carbon dioxide, reduction occurs for the water, overall redox reaction takes place, that leads to the formation of total carbon monoxide is converted to carbon dioxide, followed by hydrogen gas is obtained. Now it is a mixture of the non-harmful carbon dioxide as well as the hydrogen. This particular gas mixture is allowed to send through the water at high pressure conditions, whereas carbon dioxide is having though it is not having dipole moment, but it is easily liquefiable gas, hence it is soluble inside the water at high pressure conditions. The remaining gas is hydrogen and is collected. Thus, in the Bose process, with the help of the syn gas followed by the oxidation with the steam, leads to the formation of hydrogen for the industrial purposes. And second one is Lane process. Already we made the discussion. Ferrous on reaction with steam at high temperature like 750 to 800 degrees centigrade, Fe3O4, that is magnetic oxide, followed by hydrogen formation takes place. And this particular reaction is said to be gassing, because gas formation occurs over here, hence it is said to be the gassing reaction. Whereas to make the process to occur continuously, once again we have to generate the ferrous. For that purpose we will take the help of, once again, syn gas here. The syn gas, which is the combination of carbon monoxide and the hydrogen, on reaction with the Fe3O4, that once again undergoes reduction here and here, leads to the formation of ferrous. Thus it forms carbon dioxide and here it forms water. And this particular regeneration of the catalyst is said to be the vivifaction. Yes, and the third one is electrolysis of water, that already we made the discussion. At anode oxidation takes place, whereas there oxygen gas is liberated. At cathode reduction takes place, taking of electrons, there hydrogen gas is going to be liberated. The ratio of oxygen and the hydrogen volumes liberated is 2:1. Preparation of hydrogen by hydrocarbon and the steam process. Hydrocarbons, especially alkanes on reaction with steam at high temperature conditions like 900 degrees centigrade, gives the carbon monoxide and the hydrogen. Whereas this carbon monoxide and the hydrogen, as it was occurred in the Bose process, in the similar way, this on reaction with steam at 750 degrees centigrade, 500 degrees centigrade, by using catalyst like ferric oxide as well as the chromic oxide, that leads to the formation of carbon dioxide followed by the hydrogen. This on sending through the water at high pressure, carbon dioxide is dissolved and hydrogen gas is present in the form of gases and it is collected. The last process as a byproduct in the electrolysis reactions is by using aqueous sodium chloride. If you do the electrolysis for the preparation of sodium hydroxide, there oxidation occurs at anode, reduction occurs at cathode. At anode, chlorine gas will be liberated. At cathode, the two ions are in competition. One is sodium plus and second one is H plus. Thus, H plus is having higher discharge potential, that is, it is having higher, it is having easy reduction potential, less reduction potential, hence it takes up the electrons and it is converted to hydrogen. Thus, as a byproduct, not expectedly we are doing for the preparation of hydrogen, but for the preparation of some compound, here hydrogen is liberated, that is also used in quantity. Hence, in certain compounds preparation, though unwillingly we are not interested in the preparation of hydrogen, there also the preparation of hydrogen is possible as a byproduct. Thus, industrial preparation of hydrogen consisting of Bose process, Lane's process, electrolysis of water and hydrocarbon followed by steam process as a byproduct. Bose process is already we made the discussion, whereas Bose process application is also present in the hydrocarbon followed by the steam, whereas Lean process is having technical terms like gassing as well as the vivifaction. Electrolysis is a common method, and as a byproduct in the synthesis of some other compounds, a quantity of hydrogen can be liberated, hence this process is said to be hydrogen as a byproduct process.